Saudi. I want to thank my team, Right to Fight, for their efforts to get me in this position. We've been working since January, working hard, keeping my head down, aligning all my stars. Because I understand there's a big...
What happens beyond Friday is none of my concern. No interest. What will be, and what won't. That's all I can say on that. And if it's to happen, God willing it does, great. But if it doesn't, also good.
Turnout, the expectation, the anticipation of an Anthony Joshua fight always remains the same. The consistency remains the same from him and the team. The mindset remains the same. And
this is the moment the heavyweight rivalry turned absolutely electric. Anthony Joshua's chilling message to Tyson Fury, "Get your coffin ready," was more than a simple warning. It was a declaration of war from a fighter who believes he has one final chapter left to write.
Dangerous. Very good fighter, very dangerous fighter. Yes, I believe it, I know it, I've studied it, and I'm ready for it. You know, I've been in the ring with some of the quickest heavyweights, some of the fittest heavyweights. I've fought some of the strongest heavyweights. I've fought contenders, I've fought champions. I've been knocked down, I've been knocked out. I stand strong today. I'm ready for the challenge 1,000,000%.
Joshua has spent years fighting the very best in the division. He's been knocked down, knocked out, criticized, doubted, and questioned. Yet somehow, he continues to come back. Now, with Tyson Fury potentially...
Do any more harm, because it hasn't happened in the last 2 decades, so God almighty. It can't put it on the back burner any more than it's always been, so it is what it is. Everyone comes to try and beat me up, and they very rarely do.
Standing across the ring from him, Joshua appears more determined than ever to prove that his best days are not behind him. And Fury's response tells you everything about his mentality. Rather than looking rattled, Tyson Fury remains...
And he's going to be looking to collect the rent this Saturday night. We'll see if Frank is going to pay the rent or whether he's going to say, "I'm buying out my lease."
And Eddie Hearn as well. What a story it's been between yourself and Anthony Joshua, back by each other's side once again on the big stage, no matter where you are in the world.
Calm and composed. After 2 decades of doubters, criticism, setbacks, and brutal battles, Fury still carries himself like a man who believes he cannot be broken. Joshua's coffin warning doesn't appear to have scared him. If anything, it may have given Fury even more motivation.
Strong enough, he's got the right personality, he's got the right mental attitude, and he will put his best foot forward, and he will.
Because when 2 heavyweight giants start talking like this, the words eventually have to be settled inside the ring. Eddie Hearn has also been making it clear that Joshua's preparation has reached another level.
And then do a job. I'm gonna want to hurt him. You know, I'm gonna want to really hurt him in the ring. If that's that.
According to Hearn, this training camp has been serious, focused, and completely different from anything we've seen before. His confidence suggests Joshua isn't simply preparing for another fight. He's preparing for the defining fight of his career. And then came
undisputed champion.
Anthony Joshua's next undisputed champion. Tell me, what was you thinking when he went down in the first round?
First round, it's test, but AJ back. Yeah, it's boxing, you know. It's boxing. That uppercut good as a knockdown. Yeah, AJ back and win.
But the second knockdown, and I'm close to AJ, I was even worried.
Greedy belly. I know you now will speak. Ow, ow. You have cheese like a style now. Weak chin, blah blah blah. Greedy belly, get out.
Listen, Greedy Belly won last night against Marius Wack. Did you see that performance?
No.
Do we see AJ Greedy Belly next?
Yes, of course.
How does it go?
I will hear. I will in ring.
How will it go?
AJ win.
How does he win?
Knock him out.
There you go, AJ knockout from Alexander Usyk. Alexander, thank you so much. Guys.
A surprising moment from Tyson Fury's own family. John Fury showed respect toward Anthony Joshua, describing him as strong, mentally right, and a genuine entertainer. Coming from Tyson's father, Those words carry plenty of weight.
Just look at the resume of Anthony Joshua. He has the best resume in heavyweight boxing, bar none. He's always fought the toughest fights. He's fought everybody that's been a mandatory. He's never swerved anyone. You know, he's a throwback fighter. The boxing public, boxing hardcore fans, don't really like anyone that has significant success in that outer space. But still, people will think that he's been spoon-fed or he's had easy fights. He's never had easy fights. And he's a good individual who works as hard as he can, provides for his family, and he's got a good heart. So I don't see how...
John Fury has never been shy about criticizing opponents. So hearing him acknowledge Joshua's qualities makes this matchup even more fascinating. Joshua isn't hiding his intentions either. He has spoken about wanting to genuinely hurt Tyson Fury.
Of how the AJ vs Tyson Fury fight could go.
In the UK to have a mega fight like that would be massive. One of the biggest fights ever. Two heavyweights, two big names. And how the fight's gonna go, look, it's a hard one to say. I still need to go back and see how Fury's fight went. I mean, I know it's more like a sparring session, Fury, but still, I want to see how he looks. But I think it will. It's a 50-50 fight. Very close, very close. I do lean a little bit more towards Fury, but like I said, as time's been going on and Fury's not in activity, I think might work against him. I'll probably say, yeah, it's still, yeah, it's a very close fight. I'll call it 50-50.
In the ring. That's a different level of language from simply promising victory. Joshua wants to make a statement, and his coffin warning suggests he believes Fury is standing directly in the way of his final heavyweight legacy. Even Alexander Usyk has added fuel to the story. The man who defeated Joshua twice has reportedly backed him to become undisputed champion. That's a remarkable endorsement from someone who knows Joshua.
Understand why people say, hey, it's Joshua, it's zero, blah 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 blah. Usyk like this, Usyk like this. For me, I said, doesn't matter, you know, doesn't matter. Maybe for another people it's problem. You know, we people sometimes shoot in people, but words.
I understand.
Yes, you know.
Yes.
It's big problem for world.
Because social media gives people the power.
Yes,
to
yes. But I think we athletes, people who live in good life, doesn't matter. Comments, haters. For me, haters, it's motivation.
Joshua's strengths and weaknesses better than almost anyone. Usyk has shared the ring with Joshua on 2 occasions. So when he praises Joshua's potential, fans naturally pay attention. Eddie Hearn has gone even further, describing Joshua's resume as one of the strongest in heavyweight boxing. Joshua has consistently taken on dangerous opponents throughout his career, and regardless of the setbacks, he has rarely been accused of avoiding challenges. That history gives his warning to Fury a different meaning. This isn't simply a prospect calling out a champion. This is a former unified heavyweight champion attempting to complete the final chapter of a career that has already included some of the biggest fights of the modern era. Amir Khan has also described Joshua versus Fury as a genuine mega fight, potentially one of the biggest British boxing events ever. Khan sees the matchup as close to
a knockout record, and so he can hit and he can hurt. But he shouldn't have been in Anthony Joshua's league, point blank. AJ, when it comes to the fashion of the fight, how he went about it, I thought he was on his front foot. He just was. I know in the gym, this guy's fluent. He's got great movement and great hand-foot-eye coordination. But then he just. There's a word called mercurial. I just learned it actually. And that describes Anthony Joshua. He's got so much talent, but it's a case of which version of him turns up when it comes to performance night. And performance night last night, the AJ that we know, the talented fighter we know, he wasn't there. The gut, the lion, the heart, he was there. Because he brought him, after 20 seconds, he got put down, had to get back up again. He was in trouble. He was still making rookie mistakes. I'm thinking, you shouldn't make those mistakes at this stage in your career. You are a former world champion. I know you're pulling your tongue out saying, I'm all right, I'm hurt. Who are you proving something to? This is about you and your corner. Forget the fans and get the job.
50-50 contest, although he gives Fury a slight edge depending on activity and recent form. And that's what makes this fight so difficult to predict. Both men have experienced tremendous highs and painful lows. Both have suffered defeats. Both have taken enormous punishment. Both have questioned their futures at different points. But neither man wants to walk away without settling this rivalry. Then came an even bigger prediction from Usyk. He suggested Anthony Joshua could potentially stop Tyson Fury within 6 rounds. Considering Usyk has already beaten Joshua twice, that prediction is impossible to ignore. Usyk understands what Joshua can bring when everything clicks, and his prediction only adds more pressure to Fury. But Usyk also touched on something bigger, the impact of criticism and social media. At this level, fighters are constantly surrounded by opinions.
You know, mountains sometimes miss each other on a very rare occasion, and this is what these two have. You know, but it's gone now. It's gone. Both men have not got what they used to have. You know, and 6 years ago it would have been the fight of the century. Or he said that, and I was the one.
Every mistake becomes a headline. Every defeat becomes a meme. Every victory is immediately followed by questions about the next opponent. For elite fighters, that criticism can either destroy confidence or create motivation. Joshua appears determined to use it as fuel. Johnny Nelson, however, offered a more cautious assessment. He described Joshua as mercurial, capable of brilliance, but sometimes inconsistent when the pressure becomes overwhelming. Nelson praised Joshua's heart and his ability to get back up after being hurt, but he also pointed out that mistakes still appear in Joshua's performances. Against Tyson Fury, those mistakes could be devastating. Fury is...
If you'd have asked me 5 or 6 years ago, or 4 or 5 years ago, however long it would have been, it'd have been 75-25 Tyson. Now it evens up. The odds has evened up. I reckon I'd favour Tyson, but it's a close one. Both men's aged. It's just who's aged most.
Is the type of opponent who can punish hesitation. His size, awkward movement, timing, and ability to change tactics make him incredibly difficult to prepare for. Joshua cannot afford to give Fury easy opportunities. Johnny Nelson's message is simple. Stop trying to prove something to the fans and simply get the job done. John Fury also offered a fascinating look back at what this fight could have been. He admitted that Fury and Joshua should have fought years ago, when both men were undefeated and held major heavyweight titles. At that time, the matchup would have been considered an absolute dream fight between two unbeaten British giants.
Tyson Fury, fast hands, good footwork, good head movement. He can punch a little bit, he finds that uppercut, and he's a classy fighter. He's one of the best to do it. We know he's been beat, lost twice to Usyk, and he's been close a couple of times. He climbed off the floor 7 or 8 times in the later part of his career. Now he's slowing down, but he's still got it. He's still got enough to compete at world level. Like I said earlier, the talking point is him fighting Anthony Joshua. I think the only person that don't want that fight, or sounded like they didn't want the fight, was Anthony Joshua. Talking about not stealing his thunder or whatever. I think the fight's going to happen. I think the fight is happening, and we're all looking forward to it. But Tyson Fury deserves respect, deserves credit, and we've got to acknowledge that he's just had a solid 12 rounds against a game opponent, and he got some good work in there, and that will set him up for the Anthony Joshua fight. And I'd like to see these two come together a little bit and just be face to face, up close and personal. Then you know.
John described it almost like two mountains that passed each other without ever colliding. Now, years later, they may finally get their chance. But neither man is the same fighter he was 6 years ago. Age, mileage, wars, injuries, and countless training camps have all taken their toll. Shane Fury acknowledged that the odds have changed dramatically over the years. What once might have been viewed as a clear advantage for Tyson Fury is now much closer to a coin flip. The real question is no longer simply who is better at their peak. It's about who has aged better, who has more left, and who can handle the pressure when the bell rings. Carl Fruck added another interesting perspective, suggesting that Joshua may have been the hesitant one when it came to making this fight happen at various points. Fruck also praised Fury's ability to perform over 12 rounds and believes the heavyweight showdown becomes...
Yeah, I didn't know. You know, they've always been very close, and John's always been a big part of the training team. You know, I know he's had his trainers in Sugar Hill and, you know, Ben Davison, but, you know, John's his dad, and you know, he's been a big part of the journey. And for some reason, I don't know why, it's not my business, but they've clearly fallen out. And you know, it's never nice to see, and definitely
even more exciting once the two men finally stand face to face, because that's when all the talking becomes real. Eddie Hearn has also addressed the complicated relationship between Tyson Fury and his father, John Fury. John has been a major presence throughout Tyson's career, alongside trainers such as Sugar Hill Stewart and Ben Davison. Whatever happened between father and son, the situation is clearly emotional. And when a fighter is preparing for a fight of this magnitude, distractions outside the ring can become just as important as preparation inside it. Then came confirmation from Spencer Brown that Fury vs. Joshua is expected to happen this year, with Netflix reportedly involved in bringing the event to a global audience.
Because I know the fight will happen.
Definitely, this year.
Yeah, you know, we're just baking the cake. It's going to happen.
Turkey...
You know what Tyson said? He just told you.
But Turkey suggested that it was going to be announced tonight, so is there a deal in place?
Oh, that's Turkey's business, isn't it? Not mine. But yeah, there's a lot I know, a lot I can't divulge, but I'm just going to say that this fight is going to happen. And the man behind it is Turkey Al-Sheikh, and the company behind it will be Netflix.
If that happens, this won't simply be a British boxing event. It will be a worldwide spectacle. Eddie Hearn has continued to speak with confidence about Joshua's chances, even challenging Fury to step forward and make everything official. The verbal exchanges between both camps have added another layer of tension, especially with questions being raised about the level of opposition Fury has faced recently. Peter Fury, meanwhile, offered a more balanced assessment. He acknowledged that certain fights may have been mistakes, but he also emphasized the raw ability Fury possesses when he's fully switched on. That ability is what makes Fury so dangerous. And Duke McKenzie
Fighting Marius Wack, who's about 64 years old. He's lost 8 times in the last 10 fights. It's going to be a spar.
We don't have to throw stones, Ed.
No, I'm just responding to his comments, Adam. Come on, leave it out. What's the matter with you? Don't go...
added another controversial point, rejecting comparisons between Tyson Fury and legends such as Muhammad Ali. McKenzie respects Fury's popularity, but believes his resume should be judged separately from the achievements of boxing's greatest icons. That debate will continue regardless of what happens next. But a loss to Joshua would undoubtedly give Fury's critics even more ammunition. John Fury then delivered perhaps the most emotional reflection of all, discussing...
Well, whether he can take him or not, he shouldn't be taking him, and he knows that. But when he's on his A game and he boxes, he can box, he ticks all the boxes, trust me. And he's exciting as well. And he does the right thing with this level of opposition because he's walking...
The punishment Tyson endured during his brutal trilogy battles with Deontay Wilder. Those fights took an enormous physical and mental toll. Fury was knocked down multiple times, absorbed enormous punches, and somehow continued fighting. Those battles became defining moments of his career, but they also left questions about how much punishment any heavyweight can realistically absorb. And that's where Joshua's coffin warning becomes even more intriguing. If Fury...
You know, obviously Fury's got his own fans and people that think that he is a legend and one thing and another. Well, that's all well and good, but you've got to look at his resume. It doesn't stack up. Not to the great fighters. It doesn't stack up.
Has lost even a fraction of what made him special. Joshua could expose it. But if Fury still has that old magic, Joshua may discover that his warning was easier to say than to deliver. So here we are. 2 heavyweight superstars. 2 enormous legacies. 2 fighters who have already experienced almost everything boxing can throw at them. If Tyson Fury wins, He silences another wave of doubters and proves that even after years of wars, he remains capable of defeating the biggest names in the division. But if
Tyson was a formidable man, but when you fight one of the hardest punchers in boxing history 3 times,
it takes something out of you.
Of course it does, yeah.
you takes it out, it never gets replaced.
Yeah.
You can never fill that tank up like you had it before. On every shot he took, don't forget in the last fight he went down 4 times, cannons of shots. He fought his heart out, he went to the well, he gave his all to get that knockout.
One of the greatest trilogies we've ever had.
And when he got that knockout, Tyson, he had nothing left after that.
If Anthony Joshua wins, everything changes. A victory over Fury could completely rewrite Joshua's legacy. It could overshadow the defeats to Usyk and establish him as the man who finally conquered the Gypsy King when the stakes were highest. And mentally, that may be the most important battle of all. Joshua sounds hungry. He sounds angry. He sounds determined to hurt Fury. Fury, meanwhile, appears almost completely relaxed. That calmness could represent supreme confidence. Or it could be the calm of a fighter who has already given everything to the sport and believes he has nothing left to prove. We won't know until the bell rings. The coffin warning has been delivered. Now Tyson Fury has the chance to answer. Will Anthony Joshua finally fulfill his promise and put the Gypsy King away? Or will Tyson Fury once again prove that the biggest names in boxing simply cannot break him? The only thing we know for certain is that when these 2 heavyweights finally share the ring, every prediction, every argument, and every warning will be put to the ultimate test. So whose side are you on? Do you believe Anthony Joshua can back up his coffin warning? Or does Tyson Fury still have enough left to silence Joshua one more time? Drop your prediction in the comments, share this video with another boxing fan, and make sure you're subscribed. Because if this fight happens, the entire boxing world will be watching.